Hey, everybody, welcome back. Devin, the OG original Grognard, Cindy Down, continuing our playthrough of Second World War at Sea from Avalanche Press, Carl Sea Operation, May 1942. Board's changed a little bit. I actually didn't record the last turn. I didn't think much was going to happen in it. I mean, I am trying to speed up gameplay a little bit. So turn 20, which was the... Oh God, what day was that? 1, 2, 3. Here we're okay. So we are in the May 4th, which was the 1200 turn. Cloudy skies rolled in. That really hampered search efforts. Not a lot of the search bases had their full complement of aircraft up because if you remember, as I pointed out last time, airfields can only shift 2 aircraft that land straight into the ready box. The rest of them have to remain in hangar. Aircraft carriers can only shift 1 aircraft immediately into the ready box. The rest have to stay into the hangars until they get a chance to rearm and refuel, which is basically 1 full turn of downtime. So not all the airfields had their full complements, and especially this really hurt Rabaul and Gasmata because they ended up with like 4 steps when they were contributing like 9 steps or 6 steps last time. So really nobody spotted anybody. The cloudy cover didn't help matters much either. So yeah, pretty much everybody flubbed their rolls on trying to spot. So nobody spotted anybody last turn. So no airstrikes were launched. I mean, I didn't even spot the guys at Tulagi. I mean, I think I needed a 3 and I rolled like a 1 or something silly like that. So nobody is spotted to either side. Let's see what happened. Our mixed Commonwealth U.S. task force made it to Cairns and is in the process of refueling. They're going to be refueling this turn, and then I'm going to head them up to close off this gap here a little bit to try to intercept the Port Moresby task force while also trying to avoid the bombers and strike craft out of Rabaul and Gasmata. And my nose is irritated me. I don't know, my allergies are going off today, so I'm probably going to be sneezing throughout most of this video. So I actually did start up this turn. We rolled weather, went back to clear skies. I put out search. I put out the search plane. So the Japanese are now aware that America that at least 2 American carriers are in the area. So they decided to throw some torpedo planes on search because, well, the torpedo planes have got a much further range than their dive bombers. The U.S. of course have got some dive bombers on search. We got the B-17s out of Esprit de Santu, the PBY out of Cairn and off the Tangiers, and of course all the Japanese bombers out of Rabaul, Gasmata, and the Japanese seaplanes from the seaplane tender, the whatever Maru. Yeah, you like that? You like that technical official name, the whatever Maru? Most Japanese ships were just named Maru. It's real easy to name Japanese ships that way. Anyway, so we did all that. We're stepping right into doing searches because, like I said, I just want to try to speed up gameplay a little bit. So let's start off with the Japanese. Let's go ahead and see if we can spot this task force, the Tangiers down here. I don't think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, 13, 14, 15... 13. I think that's pretty much going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I think that's pretty much going to be, nope, not going to be everybody from there. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 steps of aircraft. And 7 is the maximum anyways. So... let's see. It's task force is 9 plus zones away from the search base, so it's -4 plus 7 steps of search aircraft plus 3. So you know that's maxed out either way. It's not cloudy. It wasn't sighted last turn. Not coastal. Yada yada yada. So I actually need a 4 to spot the Tangiers. We have a 5, so the Tangiers did get spotted. So we'll go ahead and cock them like that just to indicate that they did get spotted. I think we're pretty much looking at the same over here. 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So yeah, that's actually no, that's a 17.4. He could have. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 stats, 11 steps of search aircraft just from Rabal and Gasmata when they're up and running completely online. Which, looking at that now, I probably shouldn't have thrown the Japanese torpedo planes because it really doesn't help the search odds any because we're already maxed out with what we've got from Rabal and Gasmata. So again, that's just me showing my lack of familiarity with the system. A more experienced player, and maybe I'll remember it in the future, wouldn't have put the Japanese planes because again, like I said, we're looking at 2, 4, 6, 8 to 11 steps, and you cap out at 7 steps of aircraft. So didn't need to put that many on, but whatever, we did it anyways. Historically, they probably would have done it. Probably would have saved me some time. I could have started bombing Port Moresby. In fact, I may start doing that from here on out because as the Port Moresby task force is moving towards Port Moresby, we want to try to knock out some of the air assets that are at Port Moresby, but I need at least, 4 damage, so it would take, I could, we'll see. All right, so yeah, it's to find the other task force. Okay, so the Cairns, or the task force at Cairns, their import refueling, it's going to be a 4, but their import refueling, so that's what, a -2? No, task force unloading in coastal zone. It's not unloading technically. All right, so it doesn't say anything about just being in port. So 4. Okay, so the Japanese missed that the task force is in Cairns. So let's go for the Neo Show, the refueling group that they thought was the carriers last time. Again, we're looking at 4s. 3, missed that. Okay, now the big one, the Lexington and Yorktown battle group. 4s. They missed it. Okay, so the Japanese are blind. They know this task force down here. They know the Tangiers, and they've got a submarine task force close by. So they may send the submarines after. Try to send the submarines after the Tangiers. All right, so U.S. are not going to have as good chances with their steps. Let's see how many steps we can generate. We got 16 here, a range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, so that's gonna cover them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so we got that covered as well. And I'm pretty sure this is going to be in range as well. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Nope, just out of range. The problem is I'm not going to have enough the steps like the Japanese do with their land-based bombers. So that's going to be a half a step to there. -4 because it's more than 9 hexes away. I'm surprised Port Moresby doesn't have any reconnaissance aircraft. Oh, well. All right, over here, let's see, the American bombers, 16, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so, all right, so the task forces that are in this area are going to be catched by the half-step B-17s, half-step of PBY, so that's 1 step, and then 2 steps from Dauntlesses. We're sending out some dive bombers. So that's 3 steps total. But the task force is 9 more zones away, which is a -4, and the 3 steps is only a +1, so it would be a -3. So I could get them on a 6. And since these guys are, and since the Tulagi invasion force is unloading, I need a 4. Okay, so let's go. Let's start up here with the seaplane tender. Let's go with a 6 with them. Hey, we spot the seaplane tender. Now, let's see what reports they actually give us. It's a 4 on open the, let's see if we can find it again real quick, air search table. Number of ships and if carriers in force. Okay. Technically, the Maru is a converted, or it's not a carrier, it's a seaplane tender. So I know that there are, let's see, what is Task Force 4 having it? They've got 3 ships in it, no carriers. All right, so that's what intelligence reports to me. So these guys are spotted. All right, now I'm going to need a 6 for the Japanese carrier task force. Nope, didn't think so. And a 4 for the Tulagi invasion force. Didn't even spot the Tulagi invasion force. Distressing and depressing. All right, so that's it for searches. What do we got next? If I look at the right chart, where is my right chart? There it is. Air search and patrols assign aircraft in ready boxes to airstrike missions. All right, so the Japanese really, the only thing that they know that has been spotted is the Tangiers, and everything's out of range. And there's nothing that they have that's going to be able to do a strike out here. Plus, I don't think they'd really, actually, what did they report that is? I didn't even roll for reporting. 12 number of ships, and if BB or BC are in force. All right, so yeah, they know that there's 1 ship there. Not a high priority on the target. No other task force were spotted. So they have no clue where any of the American task forces are. Now, from the American side of things, we spotted this guy. Is it worth it to send a strike out this late at night? Because this is the last day turn. The next turn is going to be an evening turn. I don't think the U.S. would bother sending strike planes there. I think they would have been more focused on Tulagi. And plus, they didn't get a report there was any carriers. Now, if they had gotten a misresult, if they had gotten a report that there were carriers in there, then yeah, they'd have probably sent the strike force thinking that it was the Japanese task force. But Fletcher is going, no, we did enough damage to Tulagi. We're not going to put any planes out on strike, so I think we'll retire back for the night, and hopefully in the next morning start our searches in earnest again. So yeah, no strikes anywhere. Long roundabout way. Yes, I like to justify how I'm doing things rather than just saying what is happening. Okay, move fleets. All right, so we'll go ahead and do mine first. Let's just go ahead and say move him here, them there. Just keep moving these guys along like this. The combined task force is refueling. This carrier or those submarines are going to stay on station, and these submarines are going to go ahead and move because they know that the Tulagi invasion force is at Tulagi, so maybe they can sneak in there and get some sub strikes on the Japanese as they're unloading. Okay, so Japanese movement. We know that the Port Moresby task force is moving directly towards Port Moresby. The Tulagi invasion force is unloading. Will be for several more turns. So let's see. Oh yeah, the show last turn. Yeah, again they went. It's like they're supposed to be escorting these guys, but the random table's taking them off in the ass backwards direction. Yeah, that's what I get for using the random table. All right, so let's see what the task force. Okay, 11 is half speed, which I think is 2, so it's going to be 1 zone. 19 again, right and away from desired direction. So yeah, these guys, I don't know what's up with the task force commander, but yeah, he's spent most of his time up there. The Shoho has not been really that effective. All right, the Maru task force. Actually, let's go ahead and shift these back because we're going into nighttime turns, and we're not going to be able to throw up any searches in the nighttime turns. All right, so what is the seaplane tender doing? 6 is going to be full speed, and full speed for them is 1+. It's an odd number turn, so they only go 1 space. 17 left and away from desired direction. Their desired direction is Tulagi, so they're going to be going left and away, which would be right here. Okay. The Japanese subs. Okay, these guys. Let's see if they decide to move. 18. Yeah, no movement. They're not moving. They're not moving at all. That task force hasn't spotted any U.S. forces in the area, so they're not going to move. The Japanese main carrier task force, they got a sighting last turn. Okay, so yeah, we'll have them. Their new target is going to be down here. That's their desired direction because that's where the U.S., what they thought was the U.S. task force was at. 6 is a full speed. Nope. Dice is jumping the shark. Whoops. Direction. What is that? That's a 6 desired direction. And, did I roll? Yeah, full speed. So full speed for the carrier task force is 3+. It's not a number turn, so it's only 3. So desired direction. So that's 1. Let's see, 9. Left of desired direction. 2. Because yeah, I'm going from left and right depending on where they're going to, not what my perspective is, and then desired direction again. All right, so the Japanese task force. Actually, I should have moved my stuff first. I don't know why I did. Oh, I did move my stuff first. I'm an idiot. I did do my stuff. All right, so that's movement. What do we got? After movement, check for contact between surface fleets. None. Check for contacts by submarines and resolve sub. Ooh, that's a good. Because submarine range is 2 spaces, and my submarine task force up here is now. How do I do that? Let's take a look at because I haven't looked too deep into submarine operations. Air search, submarines, contact 16.3. 16.3. During the naval movement phase, players first check for task force contact, relocate any task force as required by contacts, and change their plots. Then players may announce if they wish if any enemy task force remained in, passed through, or ended movement in a zone within 2 zones of a flotilla. Distance must be counted around land. Subplayer does not announce. Required by the contact. Then players may announce if they wish if any enemy task forces remained in, passed through, or ended movement. Okay, so there it is. Ended movement in a zone within 2 zones of a flotilla. So the Tulagi task force did end 2 zones within 2 zones. Oh, you got to count around. No, 1, 2. Okay, so yeah, okay. We're good. All right. Submarine player chooses one of the task forces, announce how many submarines will attempt contact, and rolls 2 dice for each submarine. The flotilla rolls 2 dice for each submarine that attempts to make contact with the task force. Add 1 to the result if the task force did not enter a new sea zone this turn. On a result of 9, the submarine made contact with but could not achieve a firing solution on the task force. The task force player must be given a spotting result like aircraft spotting. On a result of a 10, the submarine made contact and may attack any destroyer, escort, or torpedo boat. Result is 11, or on a result of 10, if no destroyer, escort, torpedo boats, submarine made contact may attack any ship in the task force except a carrier. On a result of 12, may attack any ship in the task force. All right, so for each submarine, I rolled 2d6. Add 1 to the result of the task force did not enter. Which task force? Oh, no, submarines are known as flotillas, task forces are task forces. Okay. Add 1 to the result the task force did not enter a new season. Okay, so roll 2d6 for each submarine. We're going to be rolling or adding a 1 to it, which I think I wrote this down. Actually, I know I wrote it down. Just where to find the location of the American flotillas. Nope, those are the Japanese flotillas. Okay, there we go. So here's the flotillas. This would be the second flotilla, so there's a couple There's 2 submarines in it. Let's see, what are they? Oh, these are the S-boats. So 2 S-boats in that flotilla. So I get to roll 2 die, or 2 times. And on a 9 or more, actually it'll be an 8 or more, then we have to worry about if I actually get to... Oh, there's an 11, okay. 11, which is another plus... 11 plus 1 is going to be a 12. And 9 plus 1 is a 10. So we got a 10 and a 12 as our results, as the submarines managed to sneak in and set up firing solutions to put torpedoes into the sides of some Japanese transports. So let's go back. So procedure. On a result of a 10, the submarine contact may attack any destroyer, escort, or torpedo boat in the task force. Okay. And 12, I can attack any ship in the task force. Okay. Never required to attack. Submarine recon, limitations, 1 contact. Okay, if the sub attacks a task force, here we go into anti-submarine warfare. The task force player rolls 1 dice if the task force contains at least 1 aircraft carrier with aircraft on ASW, or at least 1 destroyer, escort, or torpedo boat with and applies any modifiers. On a result of 6, the submarine is driven off with no losses. On a result of 7, it is sunk after it fires torpedoes. Result is 8, sunk before it fires its torpedoes. Okay, shallow water. Ships in port are always in shallow water. Since they're unloading, I'm going to be considering them shallow water. Okay, so I roll a d6 if I have at least 1 destroyer, escort, or torpedo boat. Have I got... Yes, I have 1 destroyer escort, or 1 DD left in there. They technically had 6 destroyers, but 4 of them were converted for troop transports, and I sunk 2 of those, and I sunk 1 of the regular destroyer escorts, or destroyers. So they've got 1 ship that qualifies in that batch. Take a look at the ASW modifiers. ASW modifiers. Attack is in a minor port. Attack is made in shallow water. Okay, so +1. For every 5 DD or DE, no. For every 5 steps, nope. A sub-commander, nope. Night, nope. Rain, nope. Squall, nope. All right, so made in shallow water, so I get a +1 on the dice roll. So again, we're looking at 5 or better. Because we had +1, 6. Ooh, +1 would make it a 7. On a roll of a 7, the submarine is sunk after it fires its torpedoes. There we go. If the sub... Oh, so we roll for... Okay. The task force rolls 1 dice. If the now, how do you roll it for each submarine that's attacking? Submarine recon. Weather, ports. I'm going to assume both submarines can attack. If the sub, and I'm assuming that I get to roll ASW against both of them. So let's roll ASW against the other one. That's a 1, so that's nothing. But we did sink 1 of the submarines. Wow. Must have been a really bad sub commander. Well, they're in shallow water, so that makes sense. All right, so 1 of the Japanese, or 1 of the American subs is sunk. So we'll just go ahead and mark that right out. But he did fire his torpedoes. Okay, long roundabout way to get into ASW. Now, submarine attack. Submarine survives the ASW attack. The submarine player chooses which type of ship he or she... I wish they would stop doing that. Which must be a type the submarine is allowed to attack. Place ship counters in that type and opaque counter. The submarine player draws 1, rolls 1 dice. Okay. Submarine player chooses which type of ship. Okay. Submarine player draws 1, rolls 1 dice, and applies all modifiers. On a 5 or greater, the submarine scores a hit. Hits caused by submarines or resolving torpedo damage, yada, yada, yada. Okay, after resolving one submarine's attack, then repeat the ASW and submarine attack procedure for each additional submarine that attacks the same task force, and the contact ASW and submarine attack procedure for each submarine that attacks a different task force. Okay, got it. So I've got to decide what I can attack, and so with that submarine, we're going with that one. That rolled a 10. On a result of 10, may attack any destroyer, escort, or torpedo boat. Well, there's only one destroyer. Well, there's technically two destroyers, but they're troop transports. So we're going after the one destroyer. And I don't need to put it in an opaque cup because there's only one destroyer that could be attacking. Rolls one die and applies any modifiers. All right, well, let's see what the modifiers are. Lots of charts. I think this was a solitaire game with all the charts. Submarine attack modifiers. American torpedo prior to September 1943. Oh, -1. Target is dead in water or loading, unloading. Nope. Target is BB, BC, CV, CVE, large transport. Nope. All right, so no modifiers. Actually, it's a -1 modifier because American torpedoes prior to September 43. Because American torpedoes were crap at that time. What do I need? 5 or greater. So, since I have to add 1 to the dice roll, I need a 6. And hey, look at that. The torpedo actually makes contact and detonates. Boom! Right into the side of that destroyer. The problem is, I think that destroyer only has like 1 hull box, so I think pretty much anything I roll on the torpedo damage is going to really, really hurt it. So let's see what we get. 5 on the torpedo is 2 hull, 1 tertiary. Which ship is that? That is the DD-34. DD-34. Yep, 1 hull box. Let's go ahead and take a look. DD-34. Focus. The Yazuki has got 1 tertiary, but only 1 hull box. See, 1 hull box. She takes 2 hull boxes, so she goes boom and goes to the bottom. Sunk. Unfortunately, her ASW attacks managed to also kill that submarine in the process. That sucks. They both went down together. Actually, in these shallow waters, the American sub was probably lost. The Japanese destroyer probably beached, and most of the crew was able to survive. Yeah. Or at least swim to shore. All right, so the other submarine can choose anything it wants. So we got to remove that Japanese destroyer is sunk. So we got 2 destroyers that are working as transports and 2 actual transports. I think the Japanese, I think the remaining U.S. sub is going to attack one of the transport counters. So let's go ahead and let's see. This time, target is loading or unloading, so it's going to be a +1, which offsets the American torpedo -1. So we're looking at a 5 or 6. And we got a 5. Put another torpedo into the side of one of the ships. What do we get? That's a 9. 9 is going to be probably something bad. Torpedo 4 hull. Jeez. And we're going for one of the transports. Let's see. Where's the transport? So it's the MS's. Japanese transports. There we go. Transport 1 and transport. All right, so transport 1, transport 2. I should have drew randomly. We'll just dice even, odd, even top. Okay, so it's transport group 1. And, well, it hit 1 ship. So that'll finish off one of the transports that was already damaged. So that would be another Japanese transport that managed to get destroyed. Japanese are probably not going to score a lot of points for offloading transports here. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with that. The problem is now there's submarines in the area. And, yeah, I have a feeling that the Maru is going to be going on ASW operations from here on out now that we know that submarines are in the area. Let's see. I think that's pretty much it for the turn, at least all the major exciting stuff. Airstrike missions planned in step 5 are executed. There were none. Aircraft in hangar boxes moved to ready boxes. We don't have any aircraft in hangar boxes, so nothing gets moved to the ready. And then aircraft that cannot stay aloft for another turn, which is pretty much everybody lands. And since we're going to be stepping right into a night turn, I'm just going to go ahead and play the night turns out because honestly, you can't really do any air searches or air strikes, and I can get through the night turn in about 10 minutes, and you don't need to see me spending an hour discussing what I'm doing for the night turns when it's not going to be really that exciting. We'll start off the next morning though. I think we're gonna see some carrier on carrier strikes in the next turn, or the next morning turn. Questions, comments, concerns, complaints, criticisms in the comment section. I'll see you next time. See ya.